What is remarkable with him, he was always hungry to learn. His star grew up with his maturity. It was not an instant phenomenon.
Yeah.
Once he was excited to be promoted, there we go and get Monique Joseph. Now, Monique Joseph became number 2 goalkeeper after Kune in the national team. He embraced him. He says, man, I'm happy he's here, I'm going to learn from him. It's not scripted. It's just spontaneous. Now, all the time when he speaks to you, you can see that, this happiness, this joy. Because he wanted to learn. His relationship with Kune, it also tells you that he's a guy who does not compete, He knows that, he's got limitations or he wants to learn and whatever. You see Kune as his friend. They were friends. When he was in the national team, I admired him. So that gave me the sense that maybe the young man, he understands his divine purpose spiritually. Why is he here? Now, coming back, when he got his chance to play in 2008, it was the opening of Orlando Stadium, which was refurbished. Remember, we were playing for 2010.
Yes.
Then he got the chance against Royal Zulu. Then there was a howler. He let the goal go into the net. The man was dispirited. But he came up, he picked up his pieces, and he was replaced. He didn't break him. Each time he's at the training, he'll tell his friends, tell the chairman I'm doing very well. But the uniqueness of his man is that he never had an agent. He never had an agent. And he reminded me of Mike Fish.
Yeah.
Never had an agent. Siyabonga Sangweni. Those are the players that stood out, in my administration, of these pirates.
Yes.
They were going to stand up for a long time as unique human beings. Because it seems if they knew what was their purpose, in playing football. So Senzo, you pick up the pieces, and you got a call up now to be the main goalkeeper. The uniqueness of him, it came up, especially in 2013, when he was called the King of Kinshasa, when he stopped 2 penalties. In fact, they were arguing with the retake. They said, no, give it to him. And he stopped it. He became a greatest showstopper in the PSL. Because, he have that innate of being able to be agile without, seeing any kind of, hang-ups.
Yes.
If you make a mistake, he's prepared to take, corrections. But more than that, he was a player that all the time he is prepared to help. He's available to help. But you must see, whenever he does things, it's just got this commanding posture of his, using his hands, directing the marshalling the defense in terms of the gaps, in terms of the defense and things like that. It was his nature. But also, if you look at, the game that he played, on 2014, on the 25th, he did something very unique that really said to me, on hindsight, this man had a premonition. After we won that game against IS Cape Town, people will remember this.
Yes.
He alone, he rounded the stadium, waving a hand, as if he's saying goodbye, alone. Usually, nowadays, you see the Paris players, they all congregate in the corner, all of them, alone. He circled the stadium, waving to the supporters. It's got its own gesture.
Yes.
You know, as if it's conducting the choir. No. It didn't mean anything at that particular moment. It didn't mean anything. But what gets into me is what was shared to me by our kid manager. It's my nephew. The first thing he came to tell me home, he says, man, chairman, after the game, you know, Senzo sat on his chair. Because players, when they finish, they take out their uniform, you know, they go to the shower. He took out his boots first, and he put his feet on the boot, and he bowed his head. For 5 minutes. Not removing the uniform, bowing his head. Now, remember what happened in the field of play?
Yes.
Now, bowing of his head after the game. What was happening that moment is the same between him and his God. I can't comment. When the news happened the following day, it was devastating. Because this man, as I said, he still grew in his maturity. Then when he got a chance to be a leader, he became a leader by example. He became a leader that he was always prepared, you know, to learn and to share. In all situations, he conducts himself as somebody who wants to share himself with everybody. Now, talking about 10 years, I only hope that the wheels of justice, because I believe in processes, that, you know, the story must be told to give us some kind of closure. I can't imagine the family was close to the father, was Sam. When I brought him back, you know, with the team, I said to the father, I took him as a young man with some potential. I'm bringing a national asset back, but lifeless. Because in September, he became a captain of Bafana Bafana of that year. Then he became also a captain of Orlando Pirates Football Club. Now, something strange happened also in July 23rd of 2014. At the Pirates Awards, Sex Bantwini was performing. And I was sitting with Stan Shabalala in my table. So just get Senzo, Masugu, and Dauda. Now, Dauda was one of our players from Ghana, was a goalkeeper. I said, they must know the human side of these people. What was the human side? How they can dance. Nobody has seen it. It was a private, you know, observation because I'm so much, you know, high-minded.
Yes.
I watch every move of my players.
Yes.
There's something unique now. Dauda is from Ghana and is Muslim.
Yes.
Boy. Let him dance for you. Masugu, let him dance for you.
Yes.
Now, Masugu's Wales is from Orlando. Senzo from Mulazi.
Yes.
It's happened.
It's another combination.
They went to the stage. The invited guests, they could not just understand. They were beside themselves. Now, you can imagine, you know, all these things is happening in the lead up, you know, to October. It never happened before. I asked him whether I can get Senzo to come to the stage and Masugu and what's going on. Now, he didn't know what I was saying, but he didn't know himself.
Yeah.
I surprised him. Yes. With all the offers coming, he came and told me, so that was encouraging as the chairman. Because it's a game that is very brutal.
Yeah.
Once you think you've got a player now, but the player is already being, coaxed, to go to another team. But he has never done that to Senzo. He never betrayed the team.
Does it speak to the caliber of person that this Senzo Meyiwa was?
All what he has achieved came at the right time when he was matured.
Right.
He was able to differentiate, which made him a unique leader. Senzo, because of maturity. Because a lot of players, at the age of 18, 19, 20, they get lost.
Yeah.
But this young man was grounded all the time. He wanted to perfect himself. If there was another player doing Jose was going to be discouraged. And he drowned himself in liquor. Did not do that. That's why him and Kapuza did a very unique thing. You give Kapuza a substitution position, he doesn't wear a long face. At training says, tell the chairman that, I'm scoring goals here. He must tell the coach.
Yeah.
Laughing. Same with Senzo. So you don't get this kind of players, more often than not. They wear long faces, they leak things into the media, they become disruptive in the dressing room. What they try to have. And I say this, with remote, humbleness. To say that, the maturity, when he got the right to be the captain of the national team, it helped him.
Yeah.
Because he understood the responsibility. That's why whenever he played, he was commanding people all the time. If you look at Senzo's videos, all the time, he's commanding. Not arguing, commanding. And they're putting himself in harm's way for the good of the club. He read his chapter, his pathway, to a point. That's why it was so emotional for everybody when he suffered that fatal, moment in his life. But he had endeared himself to people. If you look at the game a day before, it was raining. It was as if it was his last game. And that's why people could not understand in the transition. This excitement nowadays, what happened? What happened? To your question. That's why I trust in the process of justice to say, maybe we're able to get the answer. Because that's how processes work. Sometimes they take too long, frustrating and whatever. But I think the point is as better. Because he serves the country with aplomb.
And just a day, as you mentioned, Dr. Khoza, after demonstrating that commitment on the field, tragedy struck. Even till today, as you say, the justice system is still navigating the process of
What happened?
getting to, through evidence, of course, in court, what really happened on that day. When did you first hear the news that this tragedy had struck?
See, what's also a bit of a challenge that, it was known by everybody that, the day after the match, immediately after the match, the following day there was a birthday party of Mahamuza.
Yes, which has been mentioned in court.
We thought everybody was in Mahamuza's what you call. I think I got four or five calls on different people. I could not believe. Then the first guy to phone was my general manager, Floyd Mbele.
Yeah.
A few people phoning me, Chico Twala phoned me, Jasmine, the player agent, phoned me. 4, 5, 6 people phoned me.
Yeah.
The channel, but nobody believed. They didn't have the story. They said, but we were told he's shot. So later in the night, you say, no, it's normal. Because it's unbelievable. I remember, one of my sons phoning Mahamud and says, man, is Senzo there? Because he could not believe that, Senzo is shot, but what happened in the party? They didn't know themselves.
Yeah.
So when they got the news, then they also all went to hospital.
Yes. And this must have hit very hard on you. This was a young man that you took in. You had a very close relationship with the late Uncle Sam, Senzo's father. And I guess the expectation would be, given that his father was in KwaZulu-Natal, you equally played a father figure for this young man when he came into your fold. So this must have hit you.
We all know that we're going to die one day.
Yeah.
But there are people that give you a sense as if they're not a dying type. Sense that never look like a dying type. Because of his exuberance, his personality, never say die spirit, And after having performed this much well, and everybody being excited. And that's why when this happened and I found the father, I had to collect myself. Because I can imagine the emotion on the other side. To express my condolences. Because what is strange for me was because, they told me that they were together with friends and whatever, So the father on that side, I could hear him crying. And I had to turn him down and said, Daddy, cry some more. With a big loss. And I know how special the Senzo was to his family. The things he did for his family is just unbelievable. Never forget where he came from. And I said to the dad, I think we need to get somebody to come up and start sorting out things. But before that, I said, I'm coming.
And you did.
And I must say that one thing that I want to highlight is Ubuntu of the administration of Sister Zikalala. So because when I prepared to go down to see the family, I phoned him as a premier.
Yes.
To announce that I'm coming. He says, no, I'm going with you to the family. The whole leadership of the provincial executive was part of my delegation to go and see the family. And they helped me to bandage, and to cushion the pain and the loss. Because, the family could see that, this boy is in safe hands. Then when we came back, with the boy, that's why I said to the daddy, I want to apologize, but also grateful that I took your boy as an unknown into my development. I'm bringing him back as a national hero, as a captain of Bafana and captain of Orlando Pirates Football Club. But unfortunately, his boy is lifeless. I'm sorry.
I would like to get your comment on the fact that it's 10 years, and I know you're a man of process, but it's been 10 years, and still there is no justice for this young boy who came into your fold, who came into becoming a man. 10 years on, there's still no justice for Senzo Meyiwa.
You see, the unfortunate part, I'm not an insider. I'm from outside looking inside.
Right. Respectfully so.
So I cannot comment with context.
Yes.
Because I really like when I comment, I must have context.
Yes.
There are things that are not available to me to make a judgment call. That's why I'm saying we must trust the process, whichever long it takes.
But like everyone else, who wants to know what happened to Senzo Meyiwa, obviously, you would also want justice to be seen to be done.
Well, I think that's fair enough. I mean, for everybody, not because of Senzo, anybody who loses a loved one, there must be closure. But, I don't have the authority to make pronouncements.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The trial is still ongoing as well.
See, that's why I cannot make pronouncements because governance has got its own way.
Yeah. I would be amiss in my journalistic responsibility. Whether you can answer me or you can't answer me. But responsibly so, on the premise that the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is still currently underway. We've not delved into the merits of this case in this particular interview. But I have to ask you, how did it feel when your name came up in the trial?
Well, I can't say anything because, if I'm called, I'll appear. If I'm called, I'll appear. And try to understand because somebody told me about this. And I listened and said, okay, I must go. If I'm called, I'll appear. And answer.
And just finally, you say if you're called, you will appear before the Senzo Meyiwa murder
that's
trial.
responsible to do.
Do you feel aggrieved that it was raised within court in that particular way? It's public knowledge now because this obviously was said by the prosecutors that you did depose a statement. Did you depose a statement?
Yes.
Yes.
It was something that I don't know the context.
Yes. I don't want to go into the context.
I'm called in court.
Yeah.
Because that's why I have not said anything.
Yes.
They passed on, I made one press conference and nothing else after that.
Yes.
This thing came out later.
Yeah.
Long after, the 2014 and whatever, recently. So
I was inside court on that day.
So I must go to court and answer. But don't ask me a question on hearsay.
Yes. I think that's where we're going to leave it, Dr. Khoza. I would have been remiss in my journalistic career, and I think on the basis that the matter is still before court at this matter, and we cannot delve into the merits of it, but I appreciate your insights on Senzo Meyiwa. From the time that he came into your fold, the man and the soccer player that he grew to become, how he went on to represent South Africa, and of course, some of now the controversies that have come up, of which you say you will attend to if needs be.
I think the important thing that, the family deserves better.
How so? What do you mean?
Senzo's kids deserve better in terms of what we want to know what happened.
That's right.
We all want to know what happened. The family cannot have closure without knowing what happened. They are grieving, it's tearing them apart. And that's why I don't want to be part of the narrative of the innuendos and whatever, because it's not fair to the family.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying let's wait for justice to take its course. Interrogate every fact that comes up. I mean, that's the purpose of the court.
100%.
To make sure that we get to the bottom of this thing.
Mm.
And make sure that we leave nothing unattended.
Mm.
But the family and us, the family of Orlando Pirates Football Club, we want closure. Because we lost a role model. We lost a leader. We lost a matured player who matured with time. And that's why I'm saying that the Senzo thing was so impactful, because if it was an instant phenomenon, it was something else. He earned it. He went through a process. Everything of his happened in a matured age. And he had the shoulders to handle it. And it's a lesson for other players that you always wait for your time.
Yeah.
You work towards your stardom. His star grew with the maturity of his performance, of handling all the situations. So that's why I'm saying, to be fair, that we know what happened. In the final analysis. Again, the justice system. You know, our country is too democratic. So the process is, sometimes they're laborious, but you just wait and see. I hope it's going to happen soon.
Hello, family. How are you doing today? Today is another day. We have an interview from SABC, whereby IRVIN KHOZA was interviewed about the Senzo Meyiwa while he was in Orlando Pirates. And he said a lot of things that were so good about Senzo Meyiwa. And whenever he got that call, he didn't believe that Senzo was shot. It was a shock to him, and he elaborated a lot of things that Senzo was like he knew he was going to die. He talked about one game whereby Senzo circled the whole stadium after they won. And he was waving hands like he was a conductor of a choir. By himself, not with a team. But nobody could read in between the lines exactly what happened. Why is he doing it? I think his spirit and his God was talking to him that you should bid farewell to all the Orlando Pirates fans who were there. Because as IRVIN KHOZA, I'll elaborate all this. It makes sense. Because on the same day after that game, he went to the dressing room, whereby he took off his boots and sat face down for 5 minutes. Nobody could read in between the lines what exactly was happening. And IRVIN KHOZA, when he recalls all these things, he said, he felt like this guy knew that something was going to happen. And he did a last dance for the team, whereby IRVIN KHOZA asked a few players to come. There were 3, one from Ghana and one who came and danced for the team or for the audience that were there. So you start to, when you connect the dots, this guy, he was seeing things that we didn't see. His actions, now as IRVIN KHOZA talk about what he did, you start to realize that this guy was communicating with somebody we don't know. I hope it was the Creator. And he was telling him that your days or your assignment in this world is done. You have to come back home. To us, he died mysteriously, and the family still want closure as to what exactly happened. This brings me to question the affidavit of IRVIN KHOZA. There's a big question. If that affidavit that IRVIN KHOZA penned down and took out of that, is it still the genuine one, or we are going to see PDF converted to Excel, like what Stein did with the Vodafone documents of 2005? There's a lot of questions. I hope Rata listened to what IRVIN KHOZA said in that interview, and he will start to change his mind and understand, because there are a lot of questions that we ask ourselves. He talked about the family need closure. And he even talked about the government, that our country is too democratic. And the way the process is being done in court, it's taking too long. I hope Baloyi and his friends are also listened to what IRVIN KHOZA said. And if ever they did try to change that affidavit and make it suit their narrative as Bobaloyi, we know them that they can manipulate anything. They better bring the right affidavit, because IRVIN KHOZA is ready to come and testify in court. And he said he will not hesitate, because he understands that the Meyiwa family deserve better, and they deserve to get closure as to what happened. And another thing that he said, IRVIN KHOZA said, there should be no stone unturned to get exactly what happened in the Senzo Meyiwa killing, that murder. Because when he connects that himself, it's like he's not getting answers. I hope Rata, as a 50-year experienced judge, you will understand and you'll read in between the lines. That KHOZA is about to shame your sweetheart Baloyi and Geninda when you listen to how KHOZA was speaking. because he will say exactly what was the conversation between Senzo's brother and him in the car. Remember, people who called IRVIN KHOZA, he mentioned about 5, I think, or more than 5, including Chico. Put that one in brackets, including Chico. They might be friends, they might be everybody's and everything, but including Chico, who was the first to be called by Kelly Kumalo. Instead of calling an ambulance, he decided to call Chico. And we don't understand. And the evidence that is being given by Gininda in court, he is not telling us how and where did Longwetwala go. How did he go out of the house? Because he should have that evidence. And how, when he went outside, where was his car? How did he maneuver? That story needs to be told. Family, what do you think about IRVIN KHOZA's interview? Does it give you some goosebumps that you're about to see something else? Because the end part of it is where he says it all, when he talks about our country is too democratic. I hope you heard him well. So family, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and leave your own comment as to how did you read in between the lines of IRVIN KHOZA interview. I hope you enjoyed it and you will drop your comments. Ngiyanithanda nonke ngothando lukaLove. Ngithi kini bantu bakithi, noma ngabe izindlu zodaka, we will fight until the end. The puzzle, it's connecting and we're about to see the results. Akalalanga uSenzo ukucenga amadolo, waiting for the judgment. Let's fight on social media until justice in our country is served, not only for the rich, but even for the poor. Ngiyanithanda ngothando lukaLove. Ngithi kini bantu bakithi, bravo, bravo, bravo.